very brief introduction here. But first of all, I would like to thank the folks that made last night possible. I think for everyone who was there, it was just really a great evening. And in particular, the people who gave the presentations, Axiom, Newfields, 35th North, and Google. I think it was really nice to be focused on platforms that are up and running, and so we could actually explore and see some of the possibilities that are out there. And also just to thank again the Metropolitan Water District who hosted the event last night. Before we move into the main program for this morning, I just wanted to make one comment. The discussion yesterday was just great, and I think one of the hallmarks of why that was so successful yesterday is when you have the building managers coming in and saying, please, my staff want to go home. It's a very good sign that it was a wonderful evening and the discussions could certainly have gone on a lot longer. But also, several of us had a discussion in and out last night about what's coming here. We've described this concept document and a framework that we're putting together. And of course, the question is here that over the last 10, 15 years, there's many really great things being put out, and those reports still sit on a web page somewhere, or that they sit on our desks. And how are we going to get this implemented? And of course, that's very close, I think, to everyone. Certainly on the organizing committee, there was a lot of discussion there. So just to be clear, this is the sort of vision document, the framework, that we can all go looking for multiple funding sources to implement this greater vision. And so it will be the responsibility of us all to look in various places within our agencies. Many of the great activities that you saw yesterday were funded through the private sector, through the foundations, and other organizations. But this document should show how all of these things can fit together, how we can build this cyber infrastructure ecosystem, if you like. And so absolutely, I think, speaking on behalf of the planning committee that have put so much time into this, absolutely this is not going to be a document that sits there. And then just looking at what's happening in the federal side of the equation, this huge emphasis on big data, whether it's coming out of the president's office, whether it's coming out of agencies. If you saw the executive order, you're requiring federal agencies to start looking about sharing data across their boundaries. This is absolutely the time. And 4 or 5 years in the future, there may be other priorities. But let's have this document out there so people can see what we want to achieve in California. So I'd now like to pass it on to Karen Larsen, who was one of the very early people to get involved and to think through this data summit. Karen is the director of the Office of Information Management and Assessment for the State Water Resources Control Board. And of course, data management, making sure that's available, people can see how decisions are being made is absolutely critical for her. So a lot of her visionary thinking, both for her own agency and much broader at the state and regional level, is going to be critical. So I'd like to pass it over to Karen to make a few remarks, but I would like to thank both you and your staff for making this facility available. When you try and put together a meeting of this size at relatively short notice, there's just many of the places are booked out. So thank you so much for making this wonderful facility available, the webcast, and also for your help in the planning.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying the summit. I really enjoyed yesterday's presentations. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there last night, so I hope that all went well. It sounded like it did. And like Peter said, I have been really excited about this summit and the opportunity to hear new ideas and how other people are trying to do the same kinds of things that we're trying to do here in California. I'll just say that it's this data integration and getting information out to the public has been a challenge just within our own agency, let alone across agencies. And so it's just really exciting to see the engagement that we've had over the last day and a half now. So hopefully, as Peter said, we'll come out with a product that will allow us to really communicate what our vision is and get people on board and get people on board to fund it as well. So that's my just general remarks, and I am also responsible for making sure that you are safe today. So if the alarms go off, there are procedures for you to leave the building. You'll see exit signs all over, and you'll convene over at the Cesar Chavez Park across the street. And that's where our gathering place is when we have to evacuate the building. And that is also where you will hear if we're able to come back into the building. There are also restrooms to the left. If you go out the doors, they're to the left and slightly down the hall on the left-hand side over here. Otherwise, there's also a cafeteria downstairs if you need coffee or any refreshments. I think that George or someone else will give the instructions on the breakout rooms and where they all are. Garrett will. So that's all I had. Enjoy the day. Please stay engaged. I think that these working sessions are really going to be where we'll get a lot of the good brainstorming and discussions going, so it should be a good day.
I guess I'm the traffic cop this morning. So, as you all know, you got a name tag and it has a colored dot on it. So we tried to group people together. The data integration group, which is the black dot, they'll be going to the training room, which is out the doors, around the corner, and down the hallway. And I believe Frazier is the leader of that group. So most likely, once we break here, we can kind of find your leader and follow them to that room. The business models are the green dots, and that's going to stay here in Byron Sure, and we will also reconvene here at the end of our breakout sessions. The visualization and presentation group is the blue group, and that's Lindsay, Irvin, and Michelle Jacoby, and that's out the door, back towards the stairs where you came up to come up to this room, and around the corner, and you'll see Sierra above the door. And then the final group is the libraries group, which is Ted, and we had a switch. Who was the other? Ted and Steve and me. And we're going to be in the Klamath room, which is out the doors and over the little sky bridge and straight down the hall. And we'll see the Klamath training room there. That's really all I have. We'll see as people roll in late. We can shepherd them into the right rooms and make sure that we get everyone together. But, have a good time. Think about synergy and open up your minds to the ideas that we need to really capture today. Thank you.